Hi, welcome to YouTube. Welcome to this Doodle Club number 9. During the COVID season, we are all getting together to hear a story and doodle together in a club, live on Zoom. And you're very welcome to join us. It's fun, it's free, it's for anyone. Come join us. Um, you just join on the Zoom number 794-876-271. So today we are going to hear a story. I'm going to tell you another fable today. And we are going to, I'm going to tell you a little bit about doodling with speech bubbles and thinking bubbles. And now this is something a lot of people do, and it's really useful because you can do comics with it and all sorts. So let's do our little doodle tip for the day. Okay? So, Doodle Club. We've got dude, doodle, and then we've got his nose, and there we have dude. Okay, now today's tip is it is really great sometimes to put in a few, a bubble like this for thinking. And many of you have done this before. Or put in a little bubble for speaking. So that's the sound coming out, and this is the bubble for the sound, which is maybe he's saying, help. Okay, super simple, really easy idea, lots of speech bubbles, and you can have another person in there, maybe giving him an answer here. Let's see if we can do a speech bubble for him. I'm coming, for example. Okay, so you can do all sorts of fun little things like this, and we're going to do that today. I better put his earring in today, shan't I? Number 9, Doodle Club number 9. So, ready for your story? Thumbs up if you're ready for your story. Okay, great. Now, today's story. Get ready to doodle, start doodling. Remember your colors, use different kinds of pens, take your time, and it's not about showing off. It's all about enjoying doodling, and I'm teaching you how to doodle for school notes. This is not for art class, this is not for showing off, this is not for competitions. This is for you, helping you to listen, helping you to understand, and helping you to explain what you're learning. Doodling can help with all of those. So here's the story for you to practice. There was a farmer who had 2 sons who were really very greedy. All these sons wanted to do was to get rich quick. And the farmer owned this beautiful vineyard with lots of grapevines in it. And as he grew older and older, he couldn't get his sons to help him with the vineyard. Well, the sons were always here, there, and everywhere trying all sorts of schemes to make some quick money. Well, one day, the farmer grew old and sick, and he was on his deathbed. And he called his 2 sons, and he said, "My dear sons, everything that I have for you is in the vineyard." And so the sons were thinking, this is our time. This is when we get our inheritance. And they had always thought that their father had probably gathered all his money together, all his gold coins and so on from the farm, and he had buried them somewhere in the vineyard. So when the father died, the sons went straight down to the vineyard and they got their spades and they started to dig all around the vineyard, looking for where the treasure was in the soil. And they were digging and digging and digging, and they looked here and they looked there, and they couldn't find it anywhere. They did it for days, for weeks, until finally they were exhausted, and they thought to themselves, there's no treasure in that vineyard. Well, the funny thing was that the harvest time came for the grapes. And when the grapes came, they came in a huge amount in the vineyard. The sons went down to the vineyard when it was harvest time, and they were used to little vines with small amounts of grapes. But this year there was huge amounts of grapes, and they were very rich. And they harvested all the grapes, and they brought them all in, and they sold the grapes, and they made a good deal of money from those grapes. They were really very happy. And they thought to themselves, there was treasure in the soil. All they had to do was to release it. And do you know what? When they dug in the soil, it released the nutrients in the soil to the vines, and the vines grew. And that's the story about the lazy sons of the father and how they found treasure by digging in the vineyard. So that was a very quick story. Really quick, super quick. I think it was about 3 minutes long. I wondered what you managed to doodle down in just 3 minutes. Let's have a look. Oh, I see the farmer. Fantastic. I like the lines coming out there, Henry. Oh, that's him on his deathbed with his dying eyes. You're using all the techniques from last week. Thank you. And Jenny. Ah, we've got lots of little doodles that tell the whole story. I think I can see him lying on his deathbed as well. And the sun, very nice timeline. It says Tom on there. Is that? Oh, this is Tom. Sorry. Well done, Tom. Who's next? And Jack. Aha! I think the farmer has a thermometer in his mouth. Is that a thermometer, or is it like how farmers chew on grass? And they're thinking money. You've put the thought cloud in there between the two sons. They both got the same thought. That's very clever, Jack. Thank you. And we've got another farmer here, Elisa and Marie. You're doing the story circle as well. Excellent. That's a very smart farmer. Oh, is this? Oh, did Andrew have the same idea? The two sons having the same thought with dollars in there. And then we've got the speech bubble as well from the dying man. Fantastic. Well done, Andrew. Who's next? And Hugo. Oh, we got lots of speech bubbles and thinking bubbles. Love it. Excellent. And Josephine. Oh, some beautiful grapes there. Loving the grapevine. The purple. Nice choice of color as well. And who's next? Ah, Lilu. I like the way you do these men, what pointing sideways with the noses that way. I love that style. And the son there with his spade. Fantastic. Leah, great. Two sons with their two spades. Fantastic. Love it. Oh, and there's Hi. Yes. Joanna, you keep flicking through the people and I'll admit people as they come in. I know more people are joining us. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Keep coming. Oh, look at this. Denise. Is this Annabelle or is this Denise? Thumbs up if it's Denise. Thumbs up if it's Annabelle. It's Annabelle. Okay. Annabelle, nice. It's interesting that you've got the sons going all, you did that in 3 minutes. Fantastic. Who's next? That's very fast work. It's amazing what you can do when you've got a doodle, a little symbol that can help you remember. Okay, that's great. Let's do the story again. Ready to expand on what you've got there and maybe color in, or maybe pull some of them together and do another picture. Um, Completely up to you. Make sure you enjoy yourself. That's the most important thing here. Right. Story take 2. There was a farmer who had a vineyard, and he had 2 sons, and all they could think about was making money quickly. And they were quite lazy because of it, because all they would do is try and do work that got them quick money. And they dreamed about going to the city and living in the city, and they didn't have much respect for farming or his dad or their dad or the farm. Everything was far too slow when it came to farming. Well, the father did his best to try and encourage his sons to work in the farm, but they didn't do very much. They were very lazy. And it came to the time when it was his last days on earth, and he was sick and he was dying on his bed. And the sons came to the bed. They had in their mind the thought of what inheritance they might get when their father passed away. They were those kind of sons. Well, the father knew this, and he said to the sons, "Everything I have for you, my dear sons, is in the vineyard." And so the father passed away, and the sons went down to the vineyard with their spades to dig and find the treasure that their father had left for them in the vineyard. And they dug with all their might and worked really, really hard, digging through the whole vineyard to find this treasure. Well, they found no treasure. And they were very disappointed because they'd worked extremely hard to find this treasure. And they gave up. But not many months later, it came time to go down to the vineyard and pick the grapes. And when the sons went down to pick the grapes, they were astounded to see the harvest that was there. There were much more grapes than they'd ever had before, because they had dug the soil around the vineyards, the vines, and fertilized it by doing that. And the sons actually got a great treasure out of the vineyard. And they realized they didn't just get this treasure once. They got it year after year after year after year, because that's the wonder of a vineyard, an orchard, and a farm, if you look after the soil. And that's the story about the farmer and his 2 lazy sons. And I have to say one thing about digging. Digging soil is a good idea every once in a while, but not all the time. So sometimes, you see, what happens is when you dig the soil, just a point of fact, when you dig the soil, it releases a lot of the nutrients in the soil, but it also does actually break up the soil cycle and the soil web. And so I do something called permaculture where I study these things, and it's helpful not to dig sometimes as well. Okay, children, let's have a look at these. Ah, we got some green grapes there. Green grapes equals cash. Well done. That's great. And this one's expanded. Oh, I see. Well done. I like, Henry, how you've listened to the story the first time, you've caught some info, and then you've added more and more into it and built it up. And that's the wonder of listening to something a couple of times. Well done. Well done. Ah, lovely, Josephine. You've colored it in. We've got the soil. Brilliant. We've got the money between the lads. Very nice. Oh, cha-ching. Brilliant. Okay, Tom, we've got some nice words there. Brilliant. And we've got the thoughts. Ah, right. Leah, got so much going on here. Fantastic. Tell me something, children. Hands up if you would like the opportunity to retell the story a little bit using your uh, Henry. Why don't you do it for us? Retell the story with your doodle.
So, there was a farmer who had two greedy sons who really wanted to get.
Henry, can I just ask you? Your
Yeah.
microphone is very quiet. Is it possible to bring your microphone closer to your mouth? Let's do a sound check.
Is
Say
this
sound.
better? Is this
Yes.
better?
Oh, that's much better.
So, there was a farmer who had two greedy sons who wanted to get money very, very fast every time they got money. So, when the farmer's last day on Earth um came, he told his sons that it was there was sort of like treasure, but they couldn't find it when they started digging, and they dug up the whole vineyard. So then, what happened was they the next day or a couple months later, the grapes grew and they found tons of grapes, not just like very few grapes, and they sold that and they got very much money at the end.
Well done, Henry. Thank you. Excellent. That's great. Let's look at a few more. Oh gosh, Evie, gosh, this is quite. Oh, I see the central image. So you've had your first round at the top, and then you did that circle down the bottom. Can you move the circle into the middle? Ah, so the son is thinking about the money, and then we've got the speech bubble. Where is the treasure? Speaking to each other with the grapes round about them and the sun shining. Fantastic. Tells the whole story in one picture. And that's a lovely doodle technique. I really like it when, it's really useful to do lots of doodles to get your ideas and then pull them all together into one picture that kind of tells the story as well. Both are great. Who's next? Aha, Jack. We've got the farmer and we've developed the story and we've got the landscape there. And I'm interested to see what these are the grapevines on the trellises to support them. Jack, you know your grapes. Very nice in the vineyard. Well done. Next week. Who's next? Elisa. Oh, you've got lots of grapes in your vineyard there. Fantastic vineyard. Looking forward to seeing. Well done. Who's next? Annabelle. Oh, it's got even bigger. There's more there. And we've got this sort of timeline as well. Fantastic. Who's next? Is that everyone? Fantastic, guys.
Not quite. Wait.
Oh, not
We've got
quite.
Haley.
Haley, let's have a look at Haley. Oh, lovely, Haley. Loving it. You've got the thought bubble. You've got the speech bubble. No, Dad. I love it. Dad, go. I'm not. That's fantastic. I love. There's so much happening in there. I love it. Every little one saying a little doodle story. Fantastic. Well done, Haley.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Um, so, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is the last day. We will be broadcasting this live on YouTube. What we're going to do from tomorrow is we're going to broadcast this live on Facebook instead, record the video, and then post it up onto YouTube an hour later. So if you want to watch this on YouTube, we'll be premiering it at 4 p.m. each day, but we'll be broadcasting it live each day at 3 p.m., just as usual, on Facebook, on our Facebook page, Bullet Map Studio. So for any of you who are watching on YouTube right now, that's what we're going to do. go to, if you want to watch us live, go to Facebook and watch us live there, or just wait an extra hour and watch us on YouTube when we premiere at 4 p.m. each day. And obviously, anytime after that, you can go back and see all the other YouTube ones we've done, number 1 to 8 on Doodle Club. And you can hit that subscribe button and the bell icon, and it means that you get notified when we put up a new video. Right, we are going to have a little chat time together. Over to you, children, to ask me anything. But right now, we're going to stop the YouTube broadcast so that we can just talk privately amongst each other. So why don't we
Same.
wave goodbye? Oh, by the way, remember, hands up. How many times you sent a video of a little story and your picture to someone you love, a grandparent or someone older? How many? Oh, we've got Jack 5, we've got Evie 2, we've got Andrew 4, Josephine 3. Fantastic. Please do that. Take photos, send it to someone you love, maybe in isolation, maybe they're on their own or just a couple. And people love seeing the photos. And if you can, soup it up. Do it with a video. Take your camera, record it, send it to them via WhatsApp or Messenger or Facebook or whatever, and they'll really appreciate it. That would be a way of paying me back and saying thank you to me. If you sent that to them, I'd really appreciate that because I know how much that means. Okay, let's wave goodbye. Bye-bye. See ya.